Good morning, believers. Good morning, Israel. It's your brother, J.D. Nisha. Word of Truth channel. Bible teaching. We're in the book of Judges. This story, man. The story of the Benjamites getting destroyed. God's chosen people getting killed by their own people, by Israel. I've studied this story and studied it and studied it and studied it, and I still don't completely understand what it's trying to say about my people. It is probably one of the hardest studies in the Bible, but I try, so I'm going to just get into it. We've been talking about it the last couple days. It's a long story. It's chapter 19, 20, 21. And these aren't short chapters. Heavenly Father, bless the message, bless my brothers and sisters. So it all started with a concubine that left the northern kingdom. She was married to a Levite. Concubine, married, wife. She belonged to him. So he went back to Bethlehem to get her, where she was from her dad's house. And the dad didn't want them to leave, but they left. Then on the way back to the North Country, they stopped in Gibeah of Benjamin, of my tribe. And another northern kingdom, another Ephraimite, tribe of Ephraim, put this man and the concubine and the servant up at his house, and they partied. But the men of Gibeah, they were rude dudes. They were rude Benjamites, and they wanted to have sex with this. They wanted to defile this Ephraimite. I think it had something to do with the tribal, because this whole story is about civil war between Benjamin and the northern kingdom, and Judah gets involved. Judah, which is supposed to be Benjamin's closest ally, because they were two tribes that stayed in the south in Jerusalem, but it ends up the Lord makes Judah and Benjamin fight. And I'm going to read through it as fast as I can, because this part really hurts my feelings. And I still don't know how to process it. So we left off at the Benjamites won't admit. So what happened is they raped the guy's concubine, and they smash her to death. They fuck her to death. And the Levite, the guy that was married to this concubine, cuts her body up with a knife, cuts her body into 12 pieces, and sends one piece to each tribe. And so the tribes get all wound up against Benjamin. But the Benjamites won't apologize, and they won't give up the men that did this. So they pretty much were so set on being able to do whatever they want. And see, I got to look at that, because that's my mindset. I get to do whatever I want. I'm a Benjamite. I get to do whatever I want. That's part of my problem. That's part of my issue. It's probably going to come back to haunt me. So I got to look at that for myself. And for a lot of you people, if you think you can get away with shit just because you have money, power, a position, like I have a position with the Lord, but that doesn't mean I get away with anything. So anyway, this is Benjamin prepares for battle. But the children of Benjamin, this is Judges 20:14. But the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities of Gibeah to go out to battle against the children of Israel. And the children of Benjamin were numbered, so on and so forth. They were left-handed. They were warriors. They could sling stones from either side, left hand, right hand. They were ambidextrous. When you think of left-hand power, right-hand power, the right-hand power is righteous. The left-hand power is more of the dark powers. So there's a certain amount of my ancestry, my heritage, that has to do with we tend to work from the dark side. We work in the dark side, with the dark side, against the dark side. We sling stones from both sides. And the men of Israel, beside Benjamin, were numbered 400,000 men who drew the sword. All were men of war. And the children of Israel rose and went up to the house of God and asked the counsel of God and said, which of us shall go up first to battle against the children of Benjamin? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up first. So right there, it's like they should have went, Judah? Why Judah? We love our Benjamite brothers. But the Lord wanted to see, the Lord was testing these fuckers. He was testing the tribes going, let's see how depraved these fuckers are. I want to see just how depraved these people of mine are. Judah, you love Benjamin the most. You go first. That should have been their clue, like, why is he telling us to go first? He knows we're knit together. Benjamin and Judah were knit together. They stayed home. They were in the southern kingdom. Those are the southern kingdom tribes. So it's very odd that they didn't take pause and go, why us? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up first. So the children of Israel rose in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin. And the men of Israel put themselves in array to fight against them at Gibeah. And the children of Benjamin came forth out of Gibeah and destroyed down to the ground of the Israelites that day 22,000 men. And the people of Israel encouraged themselves and set their battle again in array in the place where they put themselves the first day. And the children of Israel went up and wept before the Lord until evening and asked the counsel of the Lord, saying, shall I go up again to the battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? Sorry for the lighting. Sucks. I was trying to get a better. I'm a little washed out, but at least it's not all goofy. So they're like, shit. Shall we go up again against our brother? This is the Lord saying, yeah, let's see, go murder him. He wanted to see if they would say no. They trusted in the Lord, and the Lord set them up. Shall I go up again to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? And the Lord said, go up against him. So that's another warning to me that there's no one on my side. Even my own people are going to come against me. like Jesus, right? Even the Jews came against Jesus, his own people. And the children of Israel came near again, the children of Benjamin the second day. And Benjamin went forth against them out of Gibeah the second day, and destroyed down to the ground of the children of Israel 18,000 men. All of these drew the sword. So Benjamin's showing their military prowess. And these Israelites are like, wow, we're getting slaughtered. Israel seeks the Lord. Verse 26. Then all the children of Israel and all the people went up and came unto the house of God and wept and sat there before the Lord and fasted that day until evening and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before the Lord. And the children of Israel inquired of the Lord, for the ark of the covenant of God was there in those days. So the ark, like I said, the ark was in the northern kingdom. They had the heart of God on their side. The ark of the covenant is your heart, basically. It's the furniture that had the 10 commandments in it. It was a weapon, but it was the weapon. Your weapon is your heart. We fight with our hearts. We fight with we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against spiritual wickedness in high places. That's so much better, isn't it? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna block out the sun and then come back. I'm out. Or no, I'll be back. Oh. That was easy. Yeah. Usually it takes me forever to figure out where's the sun coming in. All right, so we're talking about the Israelites have the Ark of the Covenant, and they're fighting against Benjamin. They're getting their asses whooped. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, shall I yet again go out to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother, or shall I cease? So the high priest, Phinehas, said, is this over yet? And the Lord said, go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into your hand. So there's one lesson for you. If your heart's in the right place and God's with you, no matter how many times you get beat up, you're going to win in the end. This is heavy stuff right here, because the Lord loved Benjamin. We're like Judas Iscariot. We work so close with the Lord that you don't even understand. It's none of your business what we do with the Lord, because I'm in another dimension. My tribe, and just like Judas Iscariot, him and the Lord worked out his betrayal so that the story could be told. And everyone thinks Judas Iscariot was such a bad guy. He was really close to the Lord, just like Benjamin. That's why it's weird. Everyone's going to hate me and say I'm the bad guy. You're going to call me Judas. You're Judas Iscariot. And you're going to play yourself against me, and you're going to be bumming. And Israel set liars in wait around Gibeah, and that meant they set up an ambush. And the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin the third day, and put their self in array against Gibeah, as at other time. The children of Benjamin went out against the people. And then I'm going to cut through this part, because basically what it says is, they tricked him. They made him think. Damn it. They made him think that they were going to win again, but they had these people in the bushes, and they confused the Benjamites. And when they started chasing after them, all these guys came out of the bushes, and they were like, whoa. And so I'm going to go down to 38. Now there was an appointed sign between the men of Israel and the ambushers, the liars in wait, that they should make a great flame with smoke to come up out of the city. And when the men of Israel retired in battle, Benjamin began to smite and kill the men of Israel, about 30 persons, for they said, there's that 30, number 30. That 30 pieces of silver that Judas Iscariot got for betraying Jesus, right? He got the 30 pieces and then he gave it back. So there's that number 30. There's other instances of 30, but I can't put my finger on them. That's one that's close to the story. That's why I brought up Judas Iscariot. Surely they are smitten down before us, as in the first battle. These are the Benjamites. We got them again! 3 times we got them! But when the flame began to rise up out of the city with a pillar of smoke, the Benjamites looked behind them, and behold, the flame of the city ascended up to heaven. God burned us. Fire. Verse 41, the Benjamites destroyed. I'm going to linger on part of this when I get there. When the men flee out of the city after they realize, oh no, they killed us, they destroyed us. And when the men of Israel turned again, the men of Benjamin were amazed, for they saw that evil had come upon them. That's probably how it's going to be for me one day. I'm going to be amazed because it's going to feel like God turned his back on me, because he's going to let you Gentiles and other devious little backwater bitches come after me. And I'm going to be amazed that he's letting you do this to me. They were amazed. They're like, what? How did this happen? They couldn't believe it. They're like, what? How did that happen? Therefore, because God gave both sides a chance to go, all right, we give. The Benjamites didn't give up either. They could have went and said, we come in peace. Here's the man that those men ended up dead anyway. Probably, I think so. Therefore, they turned their backs before the men of Israel onto the way of the wilderness. But the battle overtook them, and them which came out of the midst of the cities, they destroyed in the midst of them. So all these ambushers came out and killed the Benjamites. Thus they enclosed the Benjamites round about, and chased them, and trode them down with ease over against Gibeah towards the sun rising. And there fell of Benjamin 18,000 men. All of these were men of valor. Men of valor. They were loyal. They were disciplined. They were honorable. Valor. What are some of the other words for valor? They were true. They were trustworthy. And they turned and fled towards the wilderness onto the rock of Rimmon. So when it says, I'm going to keep going. I'm not going to go there. And there fell of Benjamin 18,000 men of valor, and they turned and fled towards the wilderness onto the rock of Rimmon. And they gleaned of them in the highways 5,000 men, and pursued hard after them into Gidom, and slew 2,000 men of them. So they ran to the rock of Rimmon. I'm going to finish this chapter, and then in the next video, we're going to go into the rock of Rimmon a little bit. Let's see what it says down here at the bottom. See what the commentators say. Because only 6,000 males were left to Benjamin from the previous warfare, and because other tribes had sworn not to allow their daughters to marry a Benjamite, the tribe faced possible extinction. We almost went extinct. My tribe almost went extinct. The immoral solution to the problem demonstrates the closing observation of the book. The following narratives concerning Ruth and Samuel, both set in the period of the Judges, thus form a welcome contrast to the widespread conditions of increasing national degeneracy in the era of the Judges. Remember I was saying before? Degenerate, man. The Israelites were just bad. No matter how many times the Lord saved them with these judges, they didn't respond. Whenever God and his word are not honored, the degenerate spiritual and moral standards, debased social conditions, and disordered civil authority pictured in these closing chapters are a likely result, a portrait often drawn by the Old Testament prophets. Had the tribe of Benjamin been totally wiped out, Saul, Esther, Mordecai, and the Apostle Paul would have never been born. You know how important that is, right? Saul, the first king, Esther and Mordecai saved the Jews during the time of Artaxerxes, Ahasuerus, king of Persia, and the Apostle Paul. So the Jews might have been destroyed. No Saul, no Esther, no Paul. No Paul the Apostle. This is another example of the Lord uses the least of them to be the most powerful. It says in Micah, one of the prophets, and the least of them, out of the least of the tribes of Judah will come the Savior. When it says tribes of Judah, that's Benjamin. The least of the tribes of Judah. I think Jesus was of my same tribe, Judah, Benjamin. We're one tribe. We're basically knit together as one tribe. That's why it's so interesting here that the Lord had Judah go up first. And I still can't put a finger on why he did that. It has something to do with the story, but anyway, let me finish this chapter and I'll be back. I wanted to talk about the rock of Rimmon, so you can understand when you run out to the wilderness, the Lord will a lot of times will be there to greet you and deliver you, even though you're alone, almost extinct. Anyway, so that all which fell that day of Benjamin were 20 and 5,000 men that drew the sword. All these were men of valor. Again, it says men of valor. 46. Valiant warriors. Warriors! Why do you think I'm here every day? Because I'm a warrior for the Lord. You guys don't get it. You don't understand the overarching theme. Otherwise, you'd be here every day listening to me. You Gentiles don't give a fuck. You Gentiles are just, you don't have the spirit. You don't have the heart for it. You're like little children. Anyway, and 600 men turned and fled to the wilderness onto the rock of Rimmon and abode in the rock of Rimmon 4 months. And the men of Israel turned again upon the children of Benjamin, smote them with the edge of the sword, as well as the men of every city, as the beast and all that came at to hand. Also they set fire on all the cities that they came to. They burned down, they killed all our women, they killed all our children, they burned down our cities. They chased us out into the wilderness, and they ruined our inheritance. But we had a big part in it. I'm not saying we didn't deserve it. I'm just saying this is part of the story. I'll be back. I want to talk about the Rock of Rimmon. I'm going to pull it up, and I'll elaborate on that. I'm out.